Monkey. Hello and welcome to the 197th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by their host, Jordan.
That's me.
Jordan.
Yeah.
You gotta remind the people where we put this show.
So, as always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed linked below. YouTube and Spotify have the video platform where you can see us, as well as YouTube Music, which also has the video and the audio. You can check us out there. We also have Instagram, TikTok. We're there. We don't do anything there, but we're there. And you can contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us comments, questions, concerns, death threats, Little Kitty Bid City stuff, all sorts of stuff. Eventually, I'm just trying to drop the Little Kitty Bid City thing. I'm over that game, man.
Over it, man.
So over it.
We already freaking played that game,
Matt
dude.
T. Wood, where you at?
Matt T. Wood, drop a DLC right now.
Drop right now. Right now.
Get on it! I want to make the DLC for you.
I want Little Kitty Bigger City.
I want Little Kitty, right? Alright, it's Little Kitty, Big City, 19th century edition, okay? It's a little kitty in 19th century London. And the goal is the cat has to kill Jack the Ripper.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was that, or I thought you were going to lean into something racist, so I'm glad you chose that.
The cat has to kill Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And it's like a sort of like noir detective thing.
Yeah.
But it's still a cat. So, and it's still in the same style of Little Kitty Big City where it's just like a text box. But it's just, I gotta fucking kill Jack the Ripper. I have to kill him.
Yep. That would be that. Oh God! Don't tell me we're gonna add him to this fucking thing.
He finally finds Jack the Ripper, and he's got like a flintlock pistol. Like, stick it up, scumbag.
And at that,
he misses by a mile.
at the same time,
He misses bad.
At the same time, a portal opens and Matt Caulfield walks out.
Max Caulfield walks up, says, as Jack the Ripper turns to run away, portal opens up. Max Caulfield walks up and says, "Going somewhere?"
And then he shanks her.
And he just fucking stabs her to death immediately. We forget that she's just like a mid-20s white girl. And she just gets stabbed. She's like, "Oh God, my fucking organs." But she manages to pull the mask down. And it's fucking Mr. Jefferson from the fucking first game.
Oh, Mark Jefferson, how will we deal with you?
It's Mr. Jefferson for the first game. And it turns out he was Jack the Ripper the whole time.
Yeah.
They weren't a team. He was the same. They were the same guy.
It's like a Scream thing where they had multiple screams, and then all of a sudden, it cuts away to a bar, and you have the back silhouette of this big burly thing, right? And he goes, "Risky on the rocks," and it's Scooby-Doo. He gets
Detective Scoob.
Detective Doo. Oh, Scooby-Doo.
It's Detective Scoob. He's abandoned his racist past.
Exactly.
And now he's looking forward towards his racist future.
He's prestiged. So before we went all wacko there, I did want to say a little housekeeping on the top of the episode, right? So we were just talking about some scheduling stuff. So episode 199 is going to come out back to 198.
Yes.
And it's going to be a Minecraft movie spoiler cast, so look out for that.
Yes.
But that was the main thing. And then 200 we have something planned, nothing crazy, but something a little quirky, a little zany.
Might get a little silly. Who knows?
Might get a little goofy. So
I got an idea in mind. Because we have a general, but I think I got a specific. So we'll talk about that after the show.
Yeah. But yeah, 199, expect it the week after 198. There won't be a gap week, but then there will be 2 consecutive gap weeks before 200.
I'm actually going to make a reminder because I know 1,000% I said that, and I'm going to forget if I don't set up a reminder for myself to mention my idea.
That's fair.
Bring Jefferson in here. Have him kill this guy.
Kill, touch, and photograph as he does,
In whatever order he feels is appropriate.
It's his call. He's the artist,
Yeah. I recently watched a movie called 1 Hour Photo, where that sort of happens. So
Sweet.
Robin Williams is in it. It's like a thriller, like horror movie.
When's it from?
Like the early 2000s, late 90s maybe. And because it's all about a guy who's he's the one of the workers at like a 1 hour photo development section of a grocery store. And he gains this like weird obsession with this family that comes in regularly. And at the end of the movie, this is what Robin Williams plays. He plays the photo guy. And he does like a really good job for, I'm thinking Genie.
Yeah,
you know,
for like a comedic actor.
I'm thinking Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
The guy from Jumanji.
Yep.
And bam, here he is as like this psychotic loner. And basically he finds out the husband is cheating on the wife. And he like tracks them basically. And basically he corners them both in a hotel room while they're, carrying out their affair. And he like breaks into their room and he forces them to pose for him as he takes a bunch of pictures. But he eventually gets arrested, obviously, because I don't know if anyone knows this. Breaking and entering and then forcing people to take sexually explicit photos for you, illegal. Illegal. That's actually touched upon in the hit video game Life is Strange.
Yeah. Starring Matt Caulfield and Mr. Jefferson.
And Jack the Ripper. He's there too.
Oh, yeah, he's in all the photos, actually, in the background.
Every
lurking.
single picture, there's a little Jack the Ripper in the background somewhere. It's like the Adventure Time snail.
Yeah.
Where there's a snail in every episode.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a little Jack the Ripper.
They used to call him Jack the Clipper when he was in charge of circumcisions.
They also call him Jack the Clipper. I was going to say because he was a barber, but yeah, sure.
No, yeah, he collected foreskins for a while.
He was a barber, but he exclusively trimmed foreskins. Oh, just a little off the top today. It was like he would have to trim a candle. It's like, oh yeah, just give me a one guard off the top. Just,
One guard.
can you fade it for me?
Give it a mohawk. What have you been up to, Chris?
You're not gonna believe this.
Nothing.
Not a lot. I have played. I have one interesting thing and one thing to complain about, because I don't think I'd complained about it yet. But I have been playing a little bit of the Halfsword playtest.
I would love that game. I watched a YouTuber
That game
play
is
through it.
so fucking ridiculous.
I watched someone play through it since it was the original concept like 3 years ago, and it's a totally different game, but like, it's so cool. It's funny as hell.
That game is so silly. It's basically like you can do like, it's medieval dueling essentially, and the best part of it is to be a peasant with the fucking pitchfork. It is the most overpowered weapon in the game.
Just impaling people.
Because you just get a distance, you go, and whatever you're hitting dies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Pitchfork killed Kratos, Jesus Christ, Geralt. So
Pitchfork killed Kratos.
Imagine.
The pitchfork of Olympus got his ass.
Yeah, but Geralt was bested by a pitchfork, so apparently they're very formidable weapons.
Formidable weapons. Do you think a pitchfork could kill Spider-Man? Or?
That's the next episode. Spider-Man brings a pitchfork.
Spider-Man fights Geralt again, but brings a pitchfork this time.
It's an instant +10.
Remember this, Geralt? And he throws a pitchfork, and Geralt, he cannot dodge this for some reason.
It's like a homing pitchfork.
He tries to dodge, and the pitchfork goes...
It goes past him and goes, turns around and
it's like
comes
the fucking
back.
Hitman briefcase.
Yes.
He goes... He tries to dodge. He tries to parry it, and it goes right through his blade.
It breaks his sword in half. It's like, what the
I don't know what to do here. There's nothing in my Witcher training that tells me what to do here. This is new technology.
Oh man,
I've never been prepared for this sort of thing.
that's funny. Yeah, but yeah, that's pitchforks are formidable weapons, and it's OP in that game. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, it's super overpowered.
Yeah.
I also have to complain
Sucking a Pepsi bats, that means it's a big complaint.
because I have made this complaint before, but my anger has deepened significantly. So we know the GPU market's not good and hasn't been good for the last 5 years.
Yeah, it was already on the up and up for bad prices for a while before that, but yeah. Crypto, all that shit. COVID.
So I tried to get a 5080, didn't work. So I tried to get a 9070 XT. That didn't work either. But here's the thing. I was able to get on Newegg, and I was on Newegg, and then I clicked add to cart, and then it added it to cart, and then I clicked order, and then I ordered it, and it goes, your order's confirmed. Your order's been canceled. We don't have them.
That's crazy. Micro Center seems to have the biggest stock. They had almost 1,000 at each store.
Yeah, so but that's not the extent of my problem. Yes, it's true that you can't fucking get them, which sucks. But even when you can trace them down at a store, every single fucking card has been miles above MSRP.
Oh, really?
Miles above. Even the launch day one that I was going to buy, MSRP apparently is $599. All of them were $700. So I was all right. And I said a while back that I was you know what? I might just say fuck it and get a 7900 XTX because you can get them all day long. Not anymore. You could get them all day long for $849 mid-February. Right?
Yeah.
You can't get one. Or you can get one. It's just you're not going to find one for under $1,500 now.
Yeah.
I just need every scalper, every AI bro, every tech bro, every crypto guy to understand that I am currently working on a way to tie you all to a rocket and launch you into the sun.
Yeah.
Because it's and I understand it's not entirely their fault. It's not entirely their fault. It's absolutely a lot of the blame is on NVIDIA and AMD, right? Primarily on NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA, they are using all of their chips to put on the AI cards. The cards, they're the really high-end shit that people are buying. And I don't know what the fuck they're called now, but what used to be called Quadros.
Yeah.
That's what they're putting their fucking chips on. Because those sell for $5,000, whereas a 5080 sells for $1,000, right?
Yeah.
So they're focusing all their resources and stuff on AI stuff, whereas even companies that are system integrators, they're yeah, on launch day we had 10 5080s. They have priority over the general public.
Yeah.
And they got 10 or 20. What do you mean? They got 10 or 20.
Yeah, 10 or 20
You don't understand 10 or 20 million people are going to be trying to buy these, right? So that's one part of it. And I understand that there's a large part that is also the retailers who are making them more expensive now because the retailers are wise to it now.
Yeah.
Because I understand, I am totally on board with paying a retailer a little extra money. I don't like it, but I'm on board because I'm not paying a scalper extra money.
Yeah.
I hate large corporations, but I think I hate scalpers more.
That's fair.
Which is it's saying a lot because I think corporations in a lot of cases are parasitic but this the scalper is like the parasite's parasite. You know?
They want to be the bigger parasite,
Yeah,
but they're just a little bitch sucker on the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't have any respect for them. I don't like them. And I hope one day a normal person who's trying to build a gaming computer can buy a fucking graphics card. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fix this fucking issue. It cannot be that hard to fix by now.
You would think so.
And hey, if you're thinking about buying a card from a scalper, don't fucking do it. Make them eat this fucking loss. Make them eat it.
Yeah.
Because this shit has got to stop. It's got to stop.
The problem is the people buying from the scalpers. That's exactly like that. It's not going to until people just say fuck it and suck it up for a little while longer.
Someone's got to do something. I think what we need to do is I think we need to lobby to make scalping illegal.
I would honestly be a proponent of that. I don't care for necessarily like governmental involvement in a lot of things, like taking over and telling you what you can and can't do. But I feel like scalping is objectively a bad thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't help in any way. It doesn't boost the economy. It doesn't do anything.
Scalping, I think we need anti-scalping laws.
Yeah, I think so.
We need a law that says, or maybe just like a volume control law where it's like if you're releasing a high demand product, you have to put a waiting list out.
Yeah.
And
like what
then,
Valve did.
Yeah, and then like fulfill the waiting list in order.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or put in like limits of like, yeah, only one person can buy one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be like an entry on a list, not like, yeah, first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Because it just sucks if you're a person with a job, you know, where you can't and don't want to set up 500 bot networks to like
to do it for you,
to do it for you, or you don't want to spend 4 days camping outside Micro Center.
Yeah.
I got work to do, you know.
Yeah.
I got more important things to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sickening. The camping out Micro Center part was like dumbfounding me. There's people there who were there for like 5 to 6 days before the launch.
Dude, the inside of those tents smelled crazy.
Gooner sessions, bro.
These fucking sweaty nerds in this tent for 6 days. Probably like no great access to toilets, no showers.
Yeah.
Just eating fucking Doritos
and Mountain Dew.
Eating Doritos, Mountain Dew, and fucking pizza rolls. And
Mom delivers them.
And shitting in like a portable toilet.
One of the ones little kids train on.
They're just sitting there just...
Yeah.
And you could smell it from miles away, probably.
Yeah.
But I something's got to change. What I am considering, because like I said, system integrators have priority for these sorts of things, just buying a fucking pre-built computer at this point.
Well,
I'll pay the premium because I'm going to be paying a premium anyway to build a computer. So I might as well just pay the premium to have someone do it for me.
Yeah. Pre-builts are objectively like the way to get GPUs right now. And like you could probably get that pre-built, swap in your 2080, and then like sell that to someone else and break about even to like what an MSRP with a premium would be anyway.
See, I could do that, or I could just have the fucking pre-built because like the one with the specs I was gonna do anyway is like $3,500.
That's not bad.
And that's like what I was gonna spend.
Yeah. What are you doing for a processor with it?
The new Ryzen 9900.
Yeah.
Or not. I think there's a new one that was just released, but I don't think I need to go that extreme.
Are you doing crazy RAM again like you did that one time, like 128 gigs or some shit?
I have 64 now. Let's do 64.
I thought you had 128.
No, I have 64. I'll do 64 again. I might just because what I can do to save a couple of bucks is like I can try to just scale it back in terms of like RAM and storage, and then just put my own RAM and storage in there. But we'll see how that shakes out.
Oh, you weren't going to sell yours anyway. Or you just start fresh and then sell yours and make the money there. But you're planning on keeping it, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think my 2080 has like a rod knock or something.
Yeah, that video you showed me.
It just makes a funky noise now. I think it might just be a fan bearing. I'm not sure if it's localized to the GPU or if it's one of the other fans I have.
Yeah.
But something is making a clicking, not a clicking noise.
It's like a rod knock, like you said. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just occasionally I just hear, yeah, exactly. So I feel like something is, like, it must be like a fan bearing or something.
And then once it gets to speed, it probably equals out. Yeah.
Because it happens occasionally and then goes away. So it'll happen for like a second and then it'll go away. So I think maybe it's like a PWM thing where it's like, oh, we can slow down the fans. And then we get into the range where it's like
harmonic
it's
frequencies,
knocking,
whatever. Yeah.
And we can speed it up, and now it's not knocking anymore.
Have you now that you mention it, maybe being like a fan burn, have you just like felt the fans to see if any of the actual impellers are kind of like wobbly?
Nah.
Should try it. Maybe we'll just figure it out that
I
way.
could, yeah.
You go to one and it's like
I'm just
one.
I'm just thugging it out with this computer because I recently had to reinstall Windows anyway because I had Windows on this fuck ass 250 gig SSD, and I was like, this thing, I have to delete stuff every like 2 minutes because the storage keeps filling up, and I'm at a stage where like I got nothing else I can delete really. I don't know where my fucking space is being taken up really. So I grabbed another SSD that I had that was like a 480 gig, and I just plugged that in. I'm like, fuck it, I'll install Windows here. So I reinstalled Windows and ditched my old SSD. So I already did that. But yeah, this thing's I think entering its
sunset
end of life.
years.
Yeah. We're gonna have to old yeller this thing in a little while.
Yeah, I actually need your help with my computer. I forgot to mention. My computer, I'm at the point where I've exhausted my knowledge on what to do here. And my next thing is I'm just going to go nuclear and reinstall Windows. Because I literally can't download games on Steam at all. If I download them and then try to launch them, it'll say it can't access the x86 folder. It doesn't have the file privileges. So I go in there and I make sure everything is there as like administrator access, everything. And I'm like locked out. I don't know. I can check these things, but I must be missing something. Some file privilege or some shit.
Privileges can be a bit sticky.
I know. That's why I'm fucked.
Privileges can be like it can like really fucking drive you crazy how granular some of these privileges can get, and the verbiage and like language that they use is really imprecise. Mm-hmm. Whereas on Linux, if you want to change the fucking permissions for something, it's like a command and then like some parameters, and then you just do it.
Yeah.
I want to change this folder so that every user can read, write, and
Copy or whatever the hell.
delete it and whatever, or execute things. That's what it is. Read, write, and execute. So I just go change mode chmod plus 777, and that's it, and then the folder name.
Damn.
That's it.
Damn. Is there a way to reset privileges at all on Windows, or do you just have to hard install the whole fucking
There's
OS?
gotta be. I'm certain there is, and I'm certain I've done it before. It's just something that if I'm not looking at it, I'm not gonna be able to tell you really.
Yeah.
There might be even some ways to fuck around in like PowerShell and get it done.
I'm about to just fucking install remote desktop. Be like, Chris, jump in, figure this out.
I'm letting you drive today. Like, okay, yeah, delete system.
Don't open
32.
that folder. Wait.
Oh, what is this 5 terabyte homework folder?
It's like something ominous, like, oh, Jordan's cat pictures.
is-
It must be Oscar. Opens it. What the fuck?
It is 500,000 pictures of me sleeping. And they're all from my new bedroom. So they had to be taken in the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he's just
Some of them are from like you in someone else's house that you were on vacation on like 6 months ago, and I didn't even know about it.
it's me from a vacation I took when I was like 5.
You like test driving your first car and shit. Just all these different pictures.
It's a picture of me from a distance. Yeah, me and my dad buying my fucking Jeep that I had. It's like, I got him.
Yep.
And then the last picture is, it's the same thing of me sleeping, but in the frame is like the end of a gun barrel.
And, yeah, but then you're like, oh, it says there's an update to the folder. You refresh it, and there's a picture of me behind you looking at the pictures.
The gun barrel is inches from my head.
It has a muzzle flash drive. You're like, wait, what?
Wait a second.
Your head's gone.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
Your head is just gone.
And you get fucking JFK'd immediately.
Oh, man. Oh, fuck.
Your last words being, he's right behind me, isn't he, is crazy.
Yeah. That is fucking wild. It's fucking wild. But anyway, point me. I need your help with file privileges at some point. Eventually. Or I'm just going to hard reinstall. I got to think about it. I was thinking in between semesters, when this semester ends, I'll put my school stuff on a flash drive and then just fucking... I need to just probably clean slate this PC. It'll probably be good for it anyway, because I'm sure over the years with a lot of the like ROM stuff I've done and all the like back-end loading I've done of delisted games, like I have Manhunt 2, Spider-Man, Web of Shadows, The Godfather 2, like I've backloaded or sideloaded all those games. I probably have a virus in there somewhere.
Well, so. Windows also loves entropy. Like you install Windows and you're on a fucking timer.
Yeah.
Within a year or two, that OS is going to be borderline unusable.
Yeah.
It's like...
I debated just upgrading to 11, to be honest, because I'm going to need to anyway.
I'm staring down the barrel of upgrading to 11. It's pissing me off. I considered just keeping 10 and then having like an ultra complicated setup, but I just might go to a mildly complicated setup, which will involve my main computer, where I just boot Linux, and then I have a Windows 11 machine that I connect to remotely when I need Windows for something.
What if you just dual booted it?
Dual boot is a pain in the ass.
Is it though? I did it on the Ally, no problem.
No, it's not like it's hard. It's just like, if I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking restart this stupid thing.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
For it to go. Yeah. When I can just click a button and bam, I'm in.
Yeah, that's fair.
I click the button, I go, all right, I'm in. That's what I do. I pull up a terminal window.
You know what always gets me about dual booting? This is my only complaint about dual booting, by the way, on the Ally, is I have SteamOS set as my primary OS that it will always boot into unless I tell it not to, and with the boot priority. So if I like turn it on, and I don't want to just sit there waiting for it to get to the screen where I can hold the volume button to then go into BIOS or whatever, I'll like look away for a second. Be like, I gotta go to Windows. I'll look away and then I'll look back and it's already booting into SteamOS. And I'm like, fuck! Just, God damn it! So then I have to reboot it and then do the thing and blah, blah. So that's the only thing that's annoying. I thought I was misled. I thought when you dual booted, there was a in-between application you could install that was like a login screen. That's how, like, someone on Reddit, when I looked into dual booting, said that's how it was. You would dual boot to a GUI that would say like Windows, Linux, and you click it, and then
it depends on what you do. Mm-hmm. So like, if you installed SteamOS over it and then chose to, I don't know if SteamOS has it, but a lot of Linux based OSs do have it, where when you install Grub, the bootloader, it will install like over your Windows bootloader, and it will pop up the Grub menu where you can pick which
OS to go
OS you want to.
That must be what I saw then.
And that's what maybe they were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, but I'm fine with what I have now. Honestly, it was so fucky because of the SSD issue I had where I didn't fucking partition my memory correctly the first time, that I'm just happy it works. I'm just happy I have a reliable way to go between the two. So
yeah, but yeah, just I would dual boot. It's just I can't fucking stand restarting my computer. Pisses me off.
No, that's fair. I mean, I always power mine off. That's my thing.
I have so much shit open at any given time, and reopening it is like a process.
Yeah, you have a lot of tabs open.
Every time I have to do it, it's like now I have to open and load 47 YouTube tabs. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know how you do that, man. Like, I have one tab at a time. Like, everything's so fucking prim and proper. Like, you'd be pissed if you saw my desktop with the way my folders are laid out. I got, like, just, like, perfect rows of folders and shit. You'd be so mad.
I don't really have much on my desktop, period. I don't put shit on
Except
there.
for that 50 terabyte homework folder.
I have... I had for a while, I had a folder called Minecraft.
Minecraft? What is
which
that?
held a Minecraft server.
Oh, fair.
And then I had, like... I would just have some game icons, like some shortcuts for games that I forgot to fucking
Delete.
uncheck. Like, you know, when you install the game and Steam asks you if you want to do a shortcut, I'll forget to uncheck it. So I'll have, like, some game icons on there. But the amount of time I'm actually looking at my desktop
Very limited.
is so low. I can't even recall the last time I looked at the desktop on my main monitor.
That's fair.
It happens when I boot up the computer and never again. I always have something there.
That's fair. I usually have Steam open. Steam's like the only thing. You have like Discord and stuff. I have to go out of my way to open Discord. Like when I was messaging you guys yesterday, I was like, oh, I don't feel like using my phone to do this. I said, wait a minute, I have Discord on my computer. Let me just open that. I forgot I even had that shit installed. So like you have all that stuff. I don't leave any of that open.
Yeah, I have my default is I have on the main monitor I'll have a Firefox window. And then on second monitor I'll have Steam, Spotify, and Discord. All on top of one another.
That's not a bad setup.
And then sometimes I'll have I've moved to like a multi-window setup for Firefox. So I'll have like sometimes 2 or 3 windows open at any given time.
So you do multi-windows, not tabs, or are you saying you like divide them?
Oh no, I do multi-windows, multi-tabs because I have two. Well, the windows, the main 2 that I have open are dedicated to specific things.
One's incognito and one's not.
I have my YouTube, like my main window, and then I have one for all my D&D stuff.
That makes sense.
So like, because I'm consistently still writing a campaign, so I need reference material open all the time. So I have that shit open. So I that's my 2 main windows.
That's fair.
And that's my thing. And I also have an update on something that I did a while ago. I mentioned that YouTube finally won and that I'm a weak-willed, unprincipled man.
And you bought premium.
And I caved and bought premium. You know the coolest part about that?
What?
The coolest part about that is it doesn't completely fix the issue I was having.
What was that issue again?
So the issue was basically if I kept adblock enabled, or if I kept adblock enabled, over time, YouTube would become fucking unusable. It was like the UI would take 5 or 8 entire seconds to respond to clicks, right? You couldn't pause or do anything. So it was fucking unusable. And the time that it was taking for that to happen was shorter and shorter, right? And now here's the thing. I have YouTube Premium. I'm paying them, right? And I also, with uBlock Origin, I have an exception put in place for YouTube. And all that does is delay the inevitable.
Really?
So what's happening is like, okay, YouTube is like, it's working great. And then it like starts to degrade a little bit. And then after like probably a week, it becomes fucking unusable again. And I have to restart the browser.
And you're sure it's not the browser? Because nothing else does it, I assume.
I haven't extensively tested it on another browser, but I've extensively tested it across multiple updates of the uBlock, multiple updates of Firefox, multiple installs of the operating system, and multiple accounts.
Yeah. It sounds like YouTube, then it's the commonality.
And it happens on 0 other websites.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's something with YouTube. That's weird.
whatever you did, YouTube,
Fix it.
whatever you did, you need to fucking understand. You need to understand. You may have won me over for this time, But every other website needs uBlock to fucking work because otherwise it's ads fucking everywhere. And I need uBlock to, like, fucking use the internet, okay? Just because I have it installed doesn't mean I'm using it on your website. You cocksuckers. You're already taking my money. Okay, I'm fired up this episode.
I can tell.
I'm on one today.
I can tell.
I woke up fist fighting today.
Yeah. I woke up with a fucking salon pause patch, dude. What's happening to us? We're like changing shifts here.
I woke up and I found this creepy little guy taking pictures of me while I was trying to sleep, and I body slammed him on the ground.
Yeah. No, I have no memory of anything other than just waking up with a salon pause patch pre-installed. Yeah.
I just woke up and I was in pain. I don't get it.
Yeah. Chris woke up. He did the man thing. Woke up, had some brekkie, went and had a fucking polar plunge, and then fought a polar bear.
I woke up, took a shit, got out of bed.
In that order.
Woke up, took a shit, got out of bed, took a shit, got back in bed. Took a shower, took a shit, got out of the shower.
That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah.
And then I ate 14 pounds of raw steak.
Right from the cow.
And I injected 87 kilograms of testosterone directly into my brain.
Into my ball sack.
I took an IV drip, a fucking 1,000cc IV drip of pure testosterone directly into my eyeball veins.
Oh, god damn! That's all you've been up to, though, Chris. Is on one.
I'm on one today.
Man, I beat the pirate game. I beat the Yakuza pirate game. It's a really good game. It was really good.
Pirates?
Yeah, pirates. It's interesting how that game flows. I feel like it managed to be a little less serious than I thought. The ending gets a little serious, but all of the Yakuza games have that like goofy quality, but they always end up really dark and dungy and like fucking scary, like real world trauma sort of stuff. Like I've mentioned it before, how I haven't played later games, but like for those who care, spoiler for one thing, but like the main character of the original games, his like whole thing is in the later games, he just gets cancer and just starts dying. Like they attack like real world things. So I was surprised to see that the pirate one was kind of like that, but it wasn't super, I guess.
Yar.
I got scurvy.
The cancer be winning. Yar.
So, oh my God.
I have 3 months to live.
That's fair. You know, I'm surprised they didn't do that either. But no, the main moral of this one was about seeking adventure in your life. That was like the big thing. So the character that you play as, Majima from the main games, gets amnesia, and that's how he ends up on this pirate's journey, and he's so okay with it, and it's out of character for him because he has amnesia. So by the end of it, the whole thing is he kind of softens up, and he gets his memories back, and he's like, man, you know, that was fun. You know, I got to seek adventure and make my own destiny. Like, that's the whole message of it. So it does lean into that real-world side of things. But yeah, there was surprisingly little murder in this one. There's a lot of murder in the other games, and like there was only like 2 deaths in this game that were like, damn, like a lady takes an RPG to the fucking sternum. And then another guy is like, oh man, you beat me in a fight. And then some guy just mag dumps him with like a 9mm. And then he's like, and as he's dead, they're still shooting his body and he's twitching with every shot. Like, there was just 2 random,
fucking
like
John Marston his ass.
Yeah. But it was a really good game though. It's fun. The pirate stuff, like specifically the ship combat, it didn't really grow on me like I thought it would. I kind of towards the end started to look at those parts as like, ugh. You know, like I started the game, I was like, the pirate stuff's pretty cool. Like, I'm there for it. I maxed out my ship specs or whatever, and I was like, this is neat. And then by the end of it, I was just kind of like,
fucking stupid pirate thing.
Well, because there's so much side content around it that I went and did the Pirates Coliseum, and I blitzed through everything, and that's, I want to say 48 ship battles. So, like, I got burnt out on the whole pirate thing by then. I'm like, all right, I'm sick of the ship thing. And, like, It's not like Assassin's Creed where you can aim, like I mentioned. It's just a reticle that automatically locks on if you're in range. And, like, to be honest, the reticle's not that good. Like, it doesn't really lock on reliably. So, like, I feel like I got more levels of frustration from that. Like, the amount of times I would try to, like, drive by a ship and, like, hit it with a flamethrower, and then the reticle would be over here, and it'd be, like, going diagonally away from the ship. And then finally, as I'm, like, almost out of range, it would go, oh, and hit the ship for, like, 10 damage.
Oh.
I'm like, this was frustrating versus if this was, like, Black Flag. You can aim, you can do your actual height adjustment and fire, and you have to like lob the shots or whatever and make them hit, and it's more skill based. This was kind of just like, if the system wants to detect that you're close enough, it will. Or if it doesn't, it doesn't.
60% of the time it works 100% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's more Yakuza. I definitely want to play the other games. I almost bought those in the Steam sale. I was just telling Chris before this how I bought 4 games in the Steam sale. I was gonna buy the Yakuza collection because it's on sale right now for $50 for all the games, and all the main games anyway. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait till the next sale probably. But I would like to get through those games. They are good. So, and then Assassin's Creed Shadows, man. I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I'm so excited for that game. I'm like.
I'm not I'm not excited for it per se. I'm not gonna play it, but I might. Depends. It might be one of those things that like once it goes on sale, I'll buy it and then I'll play it for like 10 hours and then just be like, yeah, this is all right.
You could get Ubisoft Plus. I thought about doing that. You can get their little subscriptions, like $8, and you can play the game for the month and then cancel the subscription. I thought about doing that, but
Right.
You can do that with all their games pretty much.
Interesting.
But I don't know. It's got a lot going for it. The characters look actually fairly interesting this time. The combat still kind of looks, but more importantly, the stealth looks really good. Like, I know this is like such a weird thing. I've said this to numerous people, but it sounds weird to say, but like I think it is a big deal that this is like the first game where you can prone. Like an Assassin's Creed game where you can prone is like kind of sick, you know? Like it's kind of like Splinter Cell Creed.
They finally figured out that someone who's trying to be as stealthy as possible, it may be advantageous to get on your belly as low as you possibly can at some
especially
points.
in grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially in like a tall grass.
You can turn off lights in this one too. So like if you have a throwing knife and there's like a lantern, you can smash it and throw it to either put the light out or distract someone, or you can go up to the lantern and turn the light out. So they're really taking a lot of cues from like Splinter Cell, which I'm very excited for. And I meant to tell you this before when we were talking about it. They added difficulty sliders to each area. I think Valhalla had it too, where it could be like you could have really easy combat with harder stealth or vice versa or whatever. Well, someone, because I guess content creators have been posting little clips here and there that they're allowed to, I guess, posted a comparison where they went into like an enemy camp and they played it on normal difficulty stealth, and then they did it on expert stealth, and it's like monumental how different the AI is. Like a low wall, like maybe like a 12-foot wall. He was standing on it in normal mode, and the enemies were like walking right in the distance, looking around, and they couldn't find him, and he was able to just walk across the wall in broad daylight, right? Like most games, you go on top of a roof, and suddenly the enemy's blind. On expert, as soon as he hit the top of the wall, an enemy that was like 20 feet away was like, the fuck is that on the wall?
There's a guy up there.
Then he jumped to a rooftop in both, right? And on normal, he's crawling up a rooftop, like one of those feudal Japanese roofs that are like, not shingles, but like clay or whatever.
Yeah.
He's crawling on one of those. And the second his head like went over the roof, all broad daylight, there was a guy in like a circle talking. All of a sudden, one of them's like, hey, what's that? On expert. But on normal, they just ignored him, like he didn't exist. Or like walking across a rope between buildings in broad daylight. Normal, they're just like, uh-huh. And then on expert, they're like, what the fuck? There's someone up there. So it's pretty cool.
That's how the Spider-Man stealth felt like.
Oh my god.
Whereas like I would put a web across like across like an area, and then I would be like 6 inches above this guy's head.
Yeah.
And then I would just like wait for the question mark to go away so I could grab him. Mm-hmm. And how could I have seen this coming? Just like Spider-Man shoots an inch of web and he gets the guy.
I have genuinely had, in Spider-Man 2 specifically, I think it's the part, you know, where you're chasing Lizard through the pond and Peter already has the black suit, and then you switch to Miles in like that warehouse.
Yeah.
I put out a web line because it tells you to do that or whatever. And there was a part where I literally pulled a guy up, and he was dangling in like a web cocoon, and his ally walked and hit him, and he was swinging. And this was like launch day, so I think the AI was specifically pretty bad then. And like, Nothing. The enemy was just like,
Dunk. Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it though. I'm really looking forward to Shadows, and I don't know. I know people hate Ubisoft, and like I do too for a lot of things, but like I also don't want them to fail because like peak Ubisoft was good, you know? It's not like this is a developer that sucked since the beginning. They were awesome.
I think we need a company like Ubisoft pumping out serviceable games.
Yeah.
You know, they pump out a serviceable game like every quarter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, you're not gonna get any real masterpieces out of these
Or if
people.
you do, they're far and few between.
Yeah.
Like, because you did in the past get some from Ubisoft. Like, Assassin's Creed 1 was monumental.
For every, like, Assassin's Creed, like, Ezio trilogy, you get a fucking Assassin's Creed Unity, you know?
Yeah.
Or you get, like, The Crew 2, you know?
Yeah, something limp dick like that. Yeah.
Where, like, you know, no one's playing this shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get like your occasional like Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was super successful, and then Breakpoint that kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. So like I don't know. I never want to see them go under because at the root of it, right? The thing that I think people forget when they talk about like movies and shows and games is like if you're rooting for the company to fail, I get it that you don't like the company, but there's also livelihoods involved. And just because you don't like Assassin's Creed Valhalla because of their design choices doesn't mean that every developer at that company is responsible for that. It's probably just a couple higher-ups, right? So, like, I also just don't want people to lose their job, right, over something that isn't as bad as people make it out to be. But
I am also of the mind that, like, yeah, like I said, that's a good point. But I'm firmly of the mind that, like, if there wasn't a Ubisoft out there, I feel like we would be in, like, kind of a drought of games.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, like, I feel like there's a Ubisoft release coming out. There's a new Ubisoft release coming out every, like, couple of months.
Yeah.
And they're all, like, just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, I don't want them to fail, per se.
And I don't even think they would close down, mind you. Like, someone's going to buy them up if they do. Like,
Let's hope it's not, like, fucking EA.
Well, that's the thing. There's so much IP there that, like, honestly, the only only developer that I could see being like, oh, this is a good thing, but also not because of just how big they are, is, like, imagine if Rockstar bought them, or Tencent, rather, but Rockstar's parent company. That'd be crazy.
If they bought them, and then Rockstar made the next Assassin's Creed game.
Dude, it would be a masterpiece.
It would take 15 years to come out, but it would be a masterpiece.
Dude, the assassins would have ball physics, dude. You drag your nuts on a roof and take damage.
They would track it down to like, oh, the slight movement of the ball physics here alerted this guard.
Yeah, no, it would be crazy. So, I mean, they already had a thing going with Manhunt that had some fun stealth in it. It was very trivial, but it was fun. So,
yeah, I can see them being bought out by like a Microsoft, because Microsoft I feel like is buying 1,000 studios and doing nothing with them.
I'm just saying, if Microsoft bought them and then threw everything they had on Game Pass, that wouldn't be a bad thing. I'd be alright with that. They already have a bunch of Ubisoft stuff.
Pretty substantial, I think.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with Microsoft is they're buying all these developers and then not doing anything with them.
Yeah. They're cooking this year with a couple of them, but still a lot of the ones they bought aren't, like you said, they're just not doing anything. I still want to see State of Decay 3. That's my big one for the year. Like when that gets announced, like that is probably the only game that I will consider buying like a collector's edition or something for if it comes out. Although the second game had the weakest collector's edition I've ever seen. Remember I bitched about it like years ago?
Probably.
It was a zombie head on a stand. I'm like, oh, that's cool, right? And then a steelbook with no game. It was like a $200 collector's edition.
Like, not even a code?
No. Like, at least the Spider-Man one had the Venom statue, had all that stuff, and a steelbook with no game, but it had a code.
Fellas.
Yeah.
Listen. if I buy a collector's edition of a video game and it doesn't come with let me check my notes here, the video game, I'm returning it with an explosive device in there. I'm returning it back to the company with a fucking hunk of C4 in it. They're gonna open it up and it's gonna say where's the game, asshole? But right when they open it up, it's the trigger for the bomb. Where's the game, asshole? Boom! But it's not enough to kill anybody.
No, it's a
It's
confetti
just
bomb.
enough to make it's just enough to do like a cartoon explosion where their face is just covered in soot.
Yeah, it's actually full of ink in their face.
Do you remember the episode of iCarly where they blew up the doorman?
Yeah, I do actually.
That shit was crazy. Like, check out our web show. This week, we're going to be planting an IED for our doorman.
And then he just...
And we're going to film this without his consent.
And then post it live.
You think you think Lubert signed a release for that? No.
That fucking guy, dude. Oh my god, he was so gross. His mole. Fucking mole that he had. Ugh. Always had hairs in it.
I think that's what was controlling him.
The mole?
Yeah, I think if
There's an antenna.
I think if he lost it, he would have a dramatic personality shift.
Well, do you remember? I'm pretty sure in that episode when they blow him up, he loses the mole.
Oh yeah.
It blows off.
It gets blown up, and they put it on ice, and they reattach it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where his brain is.
Probably. He's like,
That's where his brain. He turns off because the mole is.
the guy's like a power supply.
So, hey, you good, man?
Lubert. Lubert booting.
You good, Lubert? No, I don't feel right. Something's missing here.
It's like the Smart Patrick episode, though, where he gets the shell for the brain or whatever, and he's like, oh, I'm sophisticated.
I feel as though I should make a remark that is in line with my character as a misanthropic curmudgeon. But I'm coming up dry on things to say.
So now allow me to read Mein Kampf. And he goes,
He becomes smart and like agreeable, but he is a Nazi, so
that trait stayed behind. And he goes behind the desk and just starts pulling out a hardcover copy.
hardcover
Collector's edition
of Mein Kampf, signed by Hitler himself.
Oh my god.
This is my signed copy. He's really smart and like generally pleasant man. He just becomes a Nazi. Those are his two options. He becomes this miserable guy with this disgusting thing on his face.
Ugh.
But he's not a Nazi.
And then they reattach it, and he's like, no longer smart. He's a simpleton, but he's still a Nazi. He's like, oh, I love this book.
He was on. It was detached from him for too long. The Nazi gene set in. He's now permanently a Nazi.
Jesus Christ.
He comes back and he comes back from the hospital. They reattached it, but he's full of like white supremacist gang tattoos, like prison gang tattoos.
Yeah. That's fucking wild. Lubert.
Yeah, the episode where Lubert becomes a Nazi. You don't remember that?
It's right after the explosive episode.
Right after the episode.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
It's it's a weird design choice that they did. Like they blew up Lubert. Lubert became a Nazi, and then they like all went through a wormhole back to 19th century London and had to kill Jack the Ripper. That was
Yeah.
And there was a cat there and a 3D model of a woman. That was weird.
Yeah, that was bizarre. And then there was this guy covered in oil.
There's this. You remember John Freak?
Yeah.
Him and Lubert were duking it out because John Freak, everybody knows, he's Jewish.
Yeah, of course.
So John Freak and Lubert. God, what is this? What is this show?
A disaster.
Not Lubert. I'm picturing him looking identical to the way he does in the show with the gray suit jacket, but he's got the armband on.
Yeah, and he's got a little stash. Like,
he's got like a drawn-on Hitler mustache, and he's fighting with John Freak, and John Freak is fucking wailing on this guy.
beating the
Picks him up,
wheels,
slamming him on the ground,
sliding him around.
sliding him around, generates a puddle of oil and starts drowning him in the oil.
Breaks his legs, like he's just beating the Brits off.
Add Lubert to our rogues gallery.
I know eventually we're gonna have to start documenting these because we're gonna start forgetting them.
We need to do what we'll do. Maybe this will be a cool thing to talk about for 200. Is we categorize our entire rogues gallery, or we just do a supplement. Where we do like write-ups for each of our members of the rogues gallery.
Because they had origins. Remember John Freak had an origin?
Yeah, his daughter got sniped or something, right?
I think so. She got sniped and he got covered in blood and he liked the feeling of it or some shit.
It became, I gotta cover myself in oil. I gotta get real slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be something we do. We'll write up our entire rogues gallery. We should commission artists for these people too.
Yeah, that would be kind
It's
of
like,
fun.
hey, a random artist on Twitter, can you draw Lubert from iCarly? But he's like an avowed Nazi. That's the only thing. He's not like a superhero. He doesn't have a superpower. He's just a Nazi.
Super devoted. That's it.
Yeah, his superpower, his only superpower is. He is genetically a Nazi.
Yeah, they get a sample of him and it's just a bunch of swastika cells.
His DNA isn't a double helix, it's a double swastika.
Or
it's a double lightning bolt or something.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's just,
it's all SS symbols.
Yeah, we're looking at DNA, but all we're finding is SS. Yeah. We don't know.
He's a sleeper agent.
How many times, I know we don't get paid for this show, but how many times can you say the word in a YouTube video before it gets buried?
Yeah, maybe I'll censor it. That's a good point. I don't want the episode to get buried.
Oh, dude, we might miss out on our 4 views this time.
I know. 1 is way worse than 4. Right?
Yeah, no, well, that's something absolutely we have to do.
Yeah. We'll get buried.
Do you have anything else to
No, I'm done.
commentate on?
I'm done. Yeah.
This just goes in the bucket of episodes where we have no notes and went way the fuck off the rails.
Yeah. Things have been real busy lately, so this was a very free form.
These have been rough out here, man.
Episode, but we gotta talk about 200, and then that's 2 shouldn't be bad. The one after this will be somewhat planned. The Minecraft one is gonna be very planned, and then 200s after that. So we got a couple of coordinated bangers in the loop. So
yeah, and we'll do our rogues gallery thing, and we'll bring back Will Geralt win.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that's probably gonna be our next thing. Is Will Geralt win?
We'll do another Will Geralt win. We got to think of who to put him up against.
John Freak.
That's what we'll do after the rogues gallery episode.
That's who we pin him against.
We'll pin Geralt against each member of the gallery. Do you think? I think. I don't even think Geralt would necessarily want to kill Lubert. Not because Geralt is a sympathizer, but because Geralt is this is just a regular guy.
Same with Matt Caulfield too. If she was in there.
This is just a woman. She's not. I guess she could do stuff with time, but I can't just kill her. Who knows?
He's just beating the brakes off her.
Stop resisting.
Idney. Lights her ass on fire.
Or it's a complete reversal, and she somehow, with her time powers, managed to go zoop, and then telegraph every shot that he does.
Yeah. And then she just stabs him with a pitchfork after all that.
Where did you get that pitchfork?
That's the introduction. He goes, I won't fight you. You're just a woman. And she goes, with a pitchfork. He goes, oh, fuck.
Pitchfork.
Wait.
She throws the pitchfork like a spear. And he just goes,
oh.
no. It pierces his midsection and he dies again.
Oh, man. All right, that's all I got.
Remind everyone when we put this show.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Reddit, Poet, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and YouTube, and the RSS feed, all linked below. YouTube, Spotify, and YouTube Music have the video platform where you can see us. We also have Instagram, TikTok. You can find us there. Synapse Misfire at pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, death threats, stuff like that. And, yeah. Stay tuned for the next episode where Will Go Win returns, and then after that will be Minecraft, and then after that is episode 200.
Yes, sir!
It's probably the most scheduled we've been after this. Look at that.
3 episodes. And a bonus Rogues Gallery episode.
Yeah. All right, bye.